Thank you, Sohail sir. I don't know how to describe a person with whom I have been more than once. Dr. Sohail, F.O.T.H sahib, they have given us quite a number of details of his person, his art, his life. And we all know that born in a small village in Haryana, Khedi Kala, goes to Delhi School of Arts, studies there, teaches in Jama Millia, then goes for higher training in Germany, spends there 10 years, ultimately moves in the early 80s to Canada. And since, during the last 30 years, he has been 30, or now it is 30 years, 35 years actually. Me, Zilvi and myself have been very close to him. We used to get together in the evening, visit his place. He would come to us. We would talk a lot about poets, poetry and beauty and everything that art and literature could be conceived of. But there were a number of other things, other many details of his life which perhaps Dr. Khalid and Dr. Akhtar, Shahid Akhtar Sahab might have missed, which I'd like to share with you. Being very close to him, I found out a person of immense love for the art he was devoted to. He was very keenly devoted to the art he practiced. He literally lived for it. He lived in it, through it, as if his whole life is meant for art and nothing else. Now we might think that it was his limitation, physical and perhaps some other limitations, maybe economic limitations. Perhaps it was his response to his life, the kind of life he got placed into. We all have our worldview. We all have our world we create, we try to live in. And he had his own world, and that was created by his love of art, painting, sculpting, and besides that, he was a very humble person. His humility was extremely, I should say, I have no words for it, extremely notable. I have seen many people, they go into the meetings and they speak more than they should be. But he was the person, he would least speak of himself. Rather than himself, he would be speaking of others. I remember we formed a little association with Dr. Saidev Kumar, we thought, well, let's get together and have a little discussion on art, literature, life. And I took him to this meeting. And for a whole 2.5 hours, he stayed silent. Now, in such meetings, he would, if you ask him, if you introduce him, would you mind introducing yourself? And his stock response used to be, मिट्टी खराब करता हूँ। ये उसका पक्का जवाब हुआ करता था, मैं तो मिट्टी खराब करता हूँ। इसकी humility की ये एक, this was a very representative signature line of his humility. He always wanted to see, admire life, beauty, but not displaying or over-displaying himself. And that was one very important feature of his life. I have also noticed, I once advised him, not advised, rather I suggested him, Youngu, why don't you have your signature initial at the bottom or at somewhere which should be invisibly visible or visibly invisible, so that we know that it's there. He says, his response was, no, I don't want to desecrate my painting, my work. It's noble enough that I don't want to spoil it with my name on it. Look at this attitude towards the sanctity of the art he was engaged in, and which he lived and died. Even during the last months, when his health was failing, he would complain sometimes, my vision is weakening, I cannot see beyond this distance. And I can't walk long. We used to go for walks too sometimes. In those days, even if he was really weak, trust me, once he was sitting to do his painting, you know, most of you know that he would sit with his backbone 90 degrees with his paper where he would do his pencil work and sit for 4-5 hours continuous. I have yet to see a person from our artist community, our artists which we know, who are so much devoted to their work, their goddess of art as much as he was. And indeed, that was his worship, his life, till the last. I would sometimes ask him, let's go for a walk. No, I'm not finished yet. I can still see. He would leave painting only when he would say, I can't see into the light. So he was so much devoted to the work he was committed to, he was devoted to for all his life. He used to show me the paintings, and once we were in that mode of say, feeling, he would pick up all the paintings, brush them, clean them, put them in the most meticulous manner so that nothing is destroyed, and then show it one by one as it is showing the best works of his life. I would sometimes wonder what this person is made of. What is that in him that gives him so much devotion and so much sincerity, sincere devotion to to the world he's going. I don't know, no one will go. Only he knew. And he would humbly say, that's my life. There are many other things we could talk about, but I would end it by recounting a walk we used to have in this Applewood Park trail. We used to go there, talk about the nature, beauty, the leaves, grass, trees, and all those things, many details, philosophize over it, comments, this and that. One day, there were two small birds who perched on the top branch of the tree. We looked at them, gave few random comments. Well, they're friends, they're men and wife, they're this and that. Next day we went there and they came back. We saw them again. We thought of them, talked about them. Third day, they didn't come. Believe me, we had a different feeling. Fourth day, we saw that they might come today, but they did not. Looked like they disappeared. And YOUNGU, in those comments, little did he know that like those two little birds, he will be gone, to never to return to us. And that's the way he left us. He left us, of course, poor. But he left us rich with his words. And that's the only choice we have. Thank you.